Welcome everybody to Lady Blues Blue Table Talk. It's every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. We have a lot of juicy topics. If you miss any show, you gotta follow me. Don't just follow me here on tag.com, but also on other platforms as well. And you can see exactly what I'm getting myself into and being exposed to. Would love to share with you. You can also go on YouTube. We got many other shows as well. Wednesday, 8 o'clock, Lady Blues Blue Table Talk. The guys talk, the ladies listen. And we find out how their brains tick exactly. And I need you to realize that just like you have reasoning behind your movement, men have reasoning behind their movement as well. Whoever is my guest, please request the box now. Also on Thursday, we have Ladies Night where the ladies basically follow up on whatever topic it is that the guys talk about, so we could kind of hear how the women look at that topic as well, and would love to respond to whatever the topic was. They were probably in the comments. And finally, their explosive personalities can basically be exposed, and you can see exactly why they feel the way they do. On Fridays, 5 o'clock, we do Looking New with Lady Blue. I'm either sharpening some claws or tightening some wigs, throwing a hot towel on a guy's face or braiding his hair. Who knows? I might be massaging some feet, doing a pedicure or a manicure or something. Pull up. I'm always doing something, because let me tell you something. When you look good, you feel good. So definitely stay tuned. Find out what I'm doing. Go to YouTube, Lady Blue Ice _ Unbreakable, and see what I'm doing. So today, the topic is, you're a dad. Which child needs you the most? A boy child or a girl child? Now, when we're talking about this topic, please keep in mind, you can speak about this topic from either just have been a boy child or a father's point of view. This show is for men to basically take the floor and tell you their thoughts. So it's very interesting. There are men out here who are single parents raising a son. There are men out here who are single parents raising a daughter. There are guys out here who would love to have children. And also guys out here who had dad in their life or didn't have dad in their life. And they can speak from that point of view. So those who are, a part of our guest list, definitely request a box. And we're going to start the show. We're going to introduce you to them. Do not hesitate to fade these people. They are definitely my bouncers, because my bouncers, they're the bomb. And my badge belongs to them. Without them, I would not be as amazing as I am. So big shout out to all the guests and to all my bouncers, because basically they are the ones that deserve all the credit. They really do. So welcome, King Ice. How are you? Let me see here. I can't hear you.
I am alive.
Can you hear me? Okay. Leave and come right back, because I don't know what is going on with the audio. Sometime tag be tripping, y'all. And we have to fight through the glitches. We gotta swing left and right, tuck and roll, maybe slap box a little bit, and get in there. But yes, some guys feel as though, a girl, she needs me. She needs me because of whatever. And some of them feel like a boy, no, he needs me, more for whatever. King Ice, say something.
I'm sexy and I know it.
Yeah, the volume is low. That's what it is. Check and see if the microphone on your phone is covered, because I can hear you. It's just really low.
Oh, maybe let's see, because it's not covered. I have y'all seated on a different kind of stand, so the bottom is actually open. So I don't know, but My check 1 2 1 2.
Yeah, it's really low. I can't really hear you. But let me see here.
I was to try to, let's see if I put you in my ear, but then the people in my life can't hear you. Um, that better?
I can hear you a whole lot better now.
Okay.
So King Ice, introduce yourself to everyone and let them know like what is your content, when's the best time to catch you, and what are you all about? What's your contribution to the tag live community?
All right. So, basically, my name is King Ice. For those who don't know me, I've been on the app for a little over 2 years. As far as my content, everything, everything under the sun. Tattoo artist, mortuary services. So you'll see me from tattooing people to personal training to picking up unalive bodies to working security, coordinating and hosting events, modeling, designing clothes, fashion, different stuff like that. I do a little bit of everything. I stream typically Monday through Friday. You can catch me at various times of the day, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. Y'all catch me training with my client, usually doing personal training, with the exception of this week because she had a death in the family. But beyond that, that's pretty much it. You know, appreciate y'all for having me. Appreciate y'all for the hearts and everything else like that.
Yeah, so
Here.
you're basically a jack of all trades. Oh my goodness, I learned something today.
Yeah,
And
I
you
do a
make
little bit of
banners
everything.
too and stuff, right?
Yeah, I make flyers. That's why I say I do a little bit of everything. Flyers, everything, man. It's crazy. Um,
Yeah. Okay. So today's topic is basically, you being, a father or even from you just being a son. When it comes to children, who needs dad the most? A boy child or a girl child in your opinion? And
all
why?
right, so in my humble opinion, what up, shout out to everybody in my life. But basically I'm kind of gonna ride the fence. There isn't, in my personal opinion, there isn't one child that needs a father more than the other. At the end of the day, that's causing division within the household because at the end of the day, a child is a child, a kid is a kid. Now, both parents are equally important within the dynamic of a family and of a household because it takes both parents in order to properly raise a child. Uh, uh, a mom can teach a daughter how to be a lady, how to be a princess, how to, all that other stuff. She can tell her daughter what a woman likes, but a father is going to show you how a man should treat you. A father typically is going to show you, hey, look, as a protector, what you should look out for. Because at the end of the day, the dad is going to be like, hey, he's going to, subconsciously point out all of his flaws and his tendencies because he doesn't want his karma or basically the old version of him to run into his daughter. But also
Mm.
on the if you, for those people who are in my live, if you want to speak on the topic, feel free to join Lady Blue Ice. Her name is Unbreakable Lady Blue Ice. You can join her live if you want to, give your input into the live conversation,
Thank
or y'all can
you.
stay in my live and view from just my perspective. Like I said, I wish y'all could hear me, or at least hear her, but I gotta put her in my ear in order for her to, I guess, hear me properly. But on the flip side, for a boy, um, a woman can only raise a boy. A woman cannot raise a man.
Mm.
A woman can, teach you what you should do, what girls are like, things of that nature. But as a kid, as an adolescent, the first thing that you tell a boy is, big boys don't cry, get up, dust your shirt off, keep pushing. So subconsciously, a little boy growing up thinks that his feelings don't matter or I shouldn't show emotion. But then fast forward, keeping that same mindset and mentality once he grows up, then y'all wonder why a dude isn't communicative. You wonder why a dude doesn't express himself emotionally, why he has or struggles with communication and comprehension or expression of, productively of his emotions and things like that. As far as from the dad's perspective for a son, as a woman, you cannot really discipline a boy. Um, no doubt, no doubt. I'll catch y'all later. What up, Renaya? So you can only discipline a boy, but so he's basically a teenager. Once that boy starts hitting puberty, once that boy starts looking you eye to eye, or he's looking at the top of your head, if you have not correctly or done the best of your ability to, teach him how to articulate and conduct himself as a productive member of society and a functioning adult, he's gonna basically butt back you, and you're not gonna be able to do anything. He's not gonna respect you because from the time that he's been a child, you've taught him that technically girls are weaker, you're stronger, girls are delicate. You feel me? You have to play nice. You got to go easy on a girl because you are a young man, so therefore, as you've been telling him this since he was this big, he knows that technically we are not equal. We are not the same. So once he gets to that, puberty and hormones and so on and so forth, there's only but so much you as a woman can do, which is why the father needs to be active, which is why the father needs to be present and also the disciplinary for the son. And on the flip side of that, as a dad, you going to teach your daughter, the do's and don'ts because you don't want her to get hurt. But if your daughter is out here being fast, if she out here being fresh in the street, as a man, there's only but so much that you can do because for one, you don't want to be beating on your kid, as far as discipline, because you don't want her to feel like dudes supposed to be putting their hands on her. But then at the same time, you also don't want her out here being fast, being out here. So if she out here being fast, she out here sneaking out, so on and so forth. That's why the mom needs to be present as the disciplinary for the daughter. So I feel like
But
in
what about
summation,
with the boys? What about the guy as a young man, him going out there sleeping with a whole bunch of girls, and possibly making a baby? And if child support is even introduced, that it comes out the dad's paycheck if he's a teenager.
so and no girls should be putting hands on the boy. Absolutely. Unless you want to get punched in the face. That's what somebody in my live said. And so, that's something that, needs to be instilled in, that child, but the thing is, yes, you should teach your son not to, be out here being fast or being fresh and things of that nature. But at the same time, unfortunately, most people in society, they, whether it's right or wrong, to some degree, it's a double standard because I'll explain to you why. If a dude is inexperienced in the bedroom, he's laughed at. If a woman is inexperienced or a virgin, she's cherished. She's, kind of, at a higher pedestal. So the whole thing of, whether or not your son is out here doing this, at the end of the day, regardless, whether it's the boy or the girl, you just need to, as parents, teach your children about healthy practices, about, sex, because they don't, and educate them, from home and stop relying on what they get at school, because what they get at school isn't just the teachers. What they get at school now is social media. What they get at school now is what they are told to look at on YouTube. What they get at school now is the behavior of their friends and their peers. So you have to educate them, whether it's the son or the daughter, on, healthy sexual practices, the consequences of, certain things. If you don't mind, I would like to be a part of this conversation. I just told you, if you would like to be a part of this conversation, because the only way you'll be able to hear the person that I'm speaking to is if you join her live. So you have to search Unbreakable Lady Blue Ice. And then you can join her live. And then, if you want, you can add your input. But other than that, like, you're only going to get like half of the conversation, unfortunately, while I'm up here. What up, Havoc? How you doing? See, look, there you go. There's some of the people from my life. Um, so no doubt, no doubt. So basically, it takes both parents. So I hate to kind of deviate from the topic or not choose one or the
No,
other,
not
but
at all.
I feel like that's part of the problem with us as a community, that we're so focused on, individual roles or operating individually versus togetherness. And that's kind of something that I was touching on. What up, Bite Size? That's something that I was touching on earlier in my live, where basically, we're the only community where it's a flex to live by yourself,
Mm.
or is frowned upon if you live with your parents. But in other ethnicities, other communities, whether it's Hispanics, they always say get in the car like a bunch of Mexicans, pile in the house like a bunch of Mexicans. They all together. You can't tell me a Asian neighborhood. Where do the Asian people live? You can tell me where the black people stay at. You can tell me where, but where's the Asian community? They stick together. They have multi-generational homes. They, you know, operate, they hire internally within their own race, their own ethnicity. Black people, unfortunately, we the only community that can't seem to get it together. And
Mm.
we feel like it's better to operate individually versus trying to come together with it. When you look at white people, what is white privilege? I'm doing all right. If y'all want to be a part of the conversation, like I said, y'all got to join Lady Blue Ice's live. Other than that, y'all just, y'all welcome to hang out in here and just, y'all only gonna get my responses. But when you think about white people, what is white privilege? Okay, well, look, y'all be wanting to do that's a provider. Well, okay, cool. Well, the average person doesn't make $25 an hour or more. And even if you make $25 an hour or more, you are struggling. You, at the end of the year, you only have $1,000 to $2,000 worth of playroom, because after taxes, and if the average rent is 2,000 a month, 2,000 times 12, that's 24. That's half of your annual income just in rent, not including utilities, not including groceries, not including gas, not including car. Don't buy no clothes. So for people to have this expectation, oh, well, you need to be a provider. Most people, the economy right now, they don't have it like that. And that's why you don't see, outside of really on social media, outside of us as a community, talking about the 50-50, or, you don't see white people, you don't see Indian people, you don't see Asian people talking about that. Because at the end of the day, when you talk about what is white privilege is basically these little kids who basically they ain't have to work for nothing, who got everything from their parents, right? They parents set them up. Their parents bought their first car. Their parents put them through college. Their parents helped them, build their credit. Versus within our community, you end up, unfortunately, being in debt in some cases because your parents put your name on a utility bill at a young age. You don't learn about financial literacy, or you don't learn about how to build your credit until you're already an
You don't
adult and
believe
you
that
in
there's a
debt.
reason why it's like that, though? You don't believe that it's the school systems not teaching that? You don't believe that is a reason why there's not generational wealth, and is a reason why that
The
they
whole
do
thing
have
is
those
this.
things?
You can try to put the blame on the school system. You could put the blame on the government. The whole thing is at the end of the day, we know that. So the whole thing is
Mm-hmm.
that's just like people who know that they're unhealthy. Now the thing is you know that, but okay, what are you gonna do about it? Are
Mm-hmm.
you willing to edge? Okay, so you, like I just said, you can't rely on the education that you get at school. So are you going to educate yourself? Are you going to look and do this? But unfortunately, the majority of people, no, they're not. They're lazy. The majority of the people, if you're not going to give them the answer, they don't want to hear it. So the
Mm.
whole thing is they not trying to learn. They just gonna take it the way it comes. So nobody is independently researching or trying to find out how to build credit, do
Mm.
all these things until you already in debt, till you already an adult. So the whole thing is you could point the blame at the system, whatever. That's cool. But we've been known for generations at this point that the
Mm-hmm.
system is not designed to help us. And by us, I mean the minority, the especially the black people, because you got people who can come from different countries and they can get assistance. You got different people,
Mm.
unfortunately, what a lot of people don't consider is right now, a lot of people have such high expectation of the average black man, like kind of like touching on the subject of being a provider. A lot of people have this uh expectation, oh well, he should be paying all the bills. Well, provisions is more than just financially. Provisions is security, provisions is mentally, provisions is emotionally, provision is, protection. Provision is doing that shit outside motherfucking cutting the grass. Because
Is that
unless
what you
you
want,
want,
that you feel as though you should teach your son as he's growing up?
and so that's what I'm saying. So the thing is that's not just something that I need to teach my son, but that's something that the daughter needs to understand.
Mm.
Because the whole thing is everybody's prioritizing money, finances. But if we just explain and we just touched on logically, the average person not making $25 an hour or more, and even if you are making $25 an hour, we just established you're still struggling. So unless it's not happening. It's unrealistic, is what I'm saying. The
Mm-hmm.
expectation. So the whole thing is if I came to you like from a business perspective, okay, hey, Lady Blue, you know what? I like you. I like your content. There is no link to post. You have to go under the search bar, type in Unbreakable, and then her name should pop up. She should be live. She got on all blue. Unbreakable, one word. So basically, what was I saying? So what was the last thing I said? Because they just
No,
kind of
you
threw me
was
off.
just talking about basically that, there's basically a double standard when it comes to the comparison of a girl and a
Well, yeah,
boy.
yeah,
And
yeah.
you
Okay,
was
so
making it
like I
appear
said,
as though a lot of people talk about the 50-50 relationships in different cultures,
right.
and that we basically do stumble in the area of, as black people, taking the time
We
to
have
educate our
unrealistic.
children to make sure that they're prepared for the world. And you seem to truly be passionate about the fact that no, you do not teach only your boy child how to survive. You also need to teach your daughter as well. Both are equally in need of both parents, and both of them equally need to be taught
Right.
everything. That's what you were saying.
We just kind of need to do better as a this ain't that king. I don't know what she's talking about, but ooh, excuse me. Hold on. Unbreakable. If you can't find it, you're out of gas. I don't know how many times you want me to keep telling you. Unbreakable Lady Blue. But so basically we as a community, we need to do better. We need to have realistic expectations. And what I was saying is if I like you and I like your content and I like your business, whatever it is, if I came to you from a business perspective and was like, hey, right now, Lady Blue, I know you do hair, right? So what if I was to come and because I believe in you or I want to invest in your business, I will cut your expenses in half,
Mm.
maybe even more, depending on the investor that you get. But I will at least cut your expenses in half. And then I also can assist with the utilities or, security or, at least you would gain another employee. If you have kids, you now have an assistant as far as childcare or an alternative method of transportation, different things that are often overlooked. Now, if I was to tell you, okay, look, you're gonna have two vehicles. I'm gonna cut your expenses in half. You can save money, and basically, you can essentially double your profit. I'll buy all the bundles. That way, you can now charge to include that with your service. You'd be like, all right, that don't sound bad, right?
It dep- with me, well, see, I'm really not supposed to be vocalizing my opinion. So, like, with me, I don't do 50-50. In my opinion, 50-50 is that's my
Mhm.
son. I don't do 50-50 with a man. So, like, I can't even, like, really talk and elaborate about that topic.
But that's why I said from a business standpoint, from a business, if I was to invest in your business,
I'm really funny
that's why.
about going in business with other people, because when you do a business partner and are 50-50, that means that you have to be willing to
I
sit down
ne-
and negotiate with them.
I
So it really depends on
I
some
never.
things.
But
The
see,
person
but
can't just
see,
invest financially. They have to have some type of expertise and licensures
That's what a
and or
sponsor.
doctorate in what we're
That's.
talking about. So like when it comes to
I
the
mean,
cosmetology field, you have to come to me as a cosmetologist. You can't come to me just as a
that's
financial
not that's not
investor,
that's
because
not that's not
sometimes a
even
financial investor
that's not
will want
true.
to overpower the field and not pay attention to certain nicks and crannies that are
The
very
whole thing is
important
this.
that'll make it flop. So me
But
personally, with
see,
my
the thing
business,
is
I do not collab with nobody, because what happens is when I collab with a
you,
person, they'll feel as though their financial is really equally a 50-50 when it's not, because they are not the
but
person
see,
providing the service.
but
They don't have the education to provide it safely. It's certain things about it that they'll try to cut corners in that'll
but
harm the
see,
person. And we're talking
but
about the health of a
but
person.
all of
So
it,
now the
but
person
all of
walking
those
around
things,
bald headed or whatever because
but
you wanted to go
all of,
cheap on
but
something
all
that you
of
don't go
those,
cheap on. So it's like
but did
certain
you
things
notice?
when it comes to this
But did you
department, I
notice?
don't do that.
But see, the thing that you fail to realize and that you have kind of, you know, you kind of went left. All I said was an investor. You're talking about a partner. You're talking about somebody that wants to
If
stay
someone's
in your
50-50,
business.
that's a
Nobody,
partner.
nobody, nobody ever said I was 50-50. I said I wanted to cut your expenses
Mm-hmm.
in half. I
Mm-hmm.
said you would benefit by your expenses being cut in half or potentially more. They might invest 60 or 70.
Mm-hmm.
That is what an investor is. And then for you to say or feel like, okay, well, that's not necessarily applicable, within the cosmetology field, that's not true because that's what a sponsorship is. That's what a
Mm-hmm.
sponsor is. So therefore, that sponsor does not dictate. Just like if you get a sponsor on TikTok, they do not dictate your content. They are simply investing in your product. So if I, as a man, want to invest in you, why is that a problem?
I
Why
didn't
is
say
that
it was a
overlooked?
problem. I just said that
But you just said,
sometimes, remember, I
when
said
your daughter was home.
sometimes when people invest in something financially, they want to sit at the table and they want to go beyond that. So that's why, like with my field, I really can't do that because my business, I have a hair product line. I do a lot of stuff with my
Hmm.
field, so it could be a little dangerous because if they don't have some type of
So,
licensure in my field, I might be taking a risk. So I
right.
don't do
So,
that.
but
A
that
lot
just
of
means that,
licensed professionals don't do that because of
I
that.
mean, a lot of them do. I would beg to differ because that's what a sponsor is, right? That's how you get a paid sponsorship. That's what a paid sponsorship is when you get advertisement on BET
Mm-hmm.
or any of those things. So if somebody from BET or whatever platform or Twitch wanted to sponsor you, or we ain't gonna say no other live streaming app, but yeah, okay, look, we trying to boost and promote your business. We like your product. We
Yeah,
want
that's
to help
awesome.
you expand. So, but all right. So somebody says when your daughter is held as a pawn in business and not seen as a wife or nurturer or family, the sentiment will not be the same. I don't know what you're talking about. And have any woman that you love in your life, you need to end. What? I don't know what you're talking about. What up, Scorpio Nation? What up, Hennessy baby? Um,
So, King Ice,
but
when it comes to your daughter, with your daughter, what is the main message that you want to make sure that you get across to her as far as her life? If anything, what is
um,
a message that you definitely want her to know and you want to leave her with growing up?
all right. So my whole thing is not just with my daughter, but with anybody.
No, I'm gonna do
But,
one at a
well, yeah, yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah.
That's the reason why I'm
Well, yeah, I got you.
asking.
I got you.
So with your
I got
daughter,
you.
what is a message that you definitely want her to know about you and know about life?
Well, not even in relation to me per se, but what message would I leave for her is to have morals and values. And the thing is if you're going to have certain standards, certain expectations, certain morals, be consistent with those same morals and principles.
Mm.
Because you can't have realistic and understand what realistic expectations are. Not just only thinking about yourself, but how does this benefit my man?
Mm.
Because you're only, a lot of women only speak on, well, what is the man doing for them versus what do they provide the man with outside
Mm.
of meals. And, we're not using sex as a bargaining tool. So therefore that's off the table. But, pretty much it's just kind of like, I would say that always be consistent because a lot of women especially nowadays, they say that they are wifey material. They say that they, want husbands. They say that they, are ready to settle down, this, that, and the third. But then if you click on their Instagram story, all you see is loose knuckle, camel toe, twerking. All you see is every single
So that's not
picture.
wifey material.
The whole thing is it's not even so much whether or not that's wifey material. Is how can you have such, you can say that you have morals, values, principles, but then on your Instagram story, out for the general public to see, you always bent over. You always
Mm.
got your titties out. You always, but then you want to be respected.
Mm-hmm.
And
And you
then the
don't
thing
respect
is that,
yourself.
is that you not even getting no money off of this. You not even monetizing it. So the whole thing is you doing all this just for free for
Mm.
attention. So, certain dudes, they look at that and they be like, okay, well, because then if a guy was to try to court you and a guy be like, hey, can you send me a picture? Most of them be like, no, I ain't finna send you shit. I ain't finna send you no picture. Can you send me a picture of something sexy? No. But then if you go on her Instagram or if you wait a couple days, she done posted some shit on Instagram and all you asked was for a picture. So
Mm.
she'll do it for the gram, but she won't do it for you. But she has expectations of you that you gonna go above and beyond and do this, that, and the third.
Mm. Interesting. So what message would you want to leave with your son about life
Um,
and, just how to maneuver and carry himself and, do things in life?
be your own person. Don't be
Mm.
afraid to be independent as far as thinking. Um, you know, use logic, use rationality, be considerate. Um, and always try to, you know, and I say be considerate of, everybody that's involved and not necessarily only how you can benefit from it personally, but just, to always just be considerate of how other people, how it benefits or it might hurt them. In that aspect, because a lot of dudes, they, they operate without a true understanding of like consequence or how their actions affect other people. um so just to, because a lot of women, they, their issue with guys is they emotionally are void, or emotionally they don't communicate, or they're not capable of articulating, you know how they feel or expressing themselves properly. So, I would always just try to, put out there like, hey, look, make sure that whenever you're trying to articulate or convey a message, don't allow social media, don't allow other people to, take what you're saying out of content, but just, or context, I'm sorry, but just to kind of always make sure that you know, do things from a place of positivity and try to at least, make sure that you're understood.
Mm.
Like, look, I said, hey, babe, how do I look in this dress? You know, depending on how you answer that, you could hurt your woman's feelings, or you could go about it in a different way to kind of also express like, hey, look, babe, you look beautiful, but I don't feel like this is a complimentary, outfit, or I don't feel like, this compliments you, or I think that there's something else that might compliment you better, or, just in that aspect. So
Mm.
not to say that you look ugly, not for her to feel like it's something wrong with her, that I hate that,
But
but just
basically know how to say what you want to say, but in a way
right.
where as though it's not assumed to be something else that's
Right. So,
negative.
what up, Shaquilla? Um, you know, what up, Shaquilla? How you doing? Appreciate y'all for joining the stream. What's the word? What's the word? But yeah, so in that aspect, that's just kind of how I would look at it.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you. That's very important. I think that you touched on a lot of good reasons behind why you believe that both children need you. Is not a one-sided situation. I think that I agree. I believe that children need both of their parents. I believe that both parents do
Right, right, right.
have a special contribution to each child, boy or girl. And I really feel as though both parents need to realize that they're having a strong impact on somebody's future. They're providing
Right.
pieces that's going to be their structure and foundation for life. Sometimes parents try to take out the other one, and I'm completely against that. I believe that both
Hold on.
have a very important piece to contribute, and I don't like that either. So I definitely
Um,
agree with you. Definitely,
well, thank you,
yes. You hit some
thank
really
you. Hold
important
on,
points.
Stacey. I can't let you in the box right now. Like I told you, I'm a featured guest in Lady Blues Live. If you would like to add your input before I exit left, you can join her live, or you can wait because I'm almost done. Um, but give me 1 second because, like I said, she just closing out. But yeah, but I thank you for having me as a guest, and for me, being able to give my input in regards to the subject matter. Like I said, it's not my intention to really, if I did offend anybody by my answer somehow, some way, that wasn't my intention. Like I told you, I just feel like us as a community, instead of focusing on division or who needs what, both parents are important. We need to work on empowering and being together as a whole, as a community, because life and the world, you can't tell me that the black man has it the hardest out of everybody,
Mm,
because no matter where you go in the world as a black man, you are discriminated against in the job field, employment, more than anybody else. Any other country, it's always black people, right? It's always the black man that's feared. It's always a black man so just knowing that, if you know that your black man, your husband to be, already is at a disadvantage, already has the world kind of the odds set up against them, try to, help, be of assistance, be his peace, be that, the yin to his yang. You feel me? Like, that's all. But
yeah,
like
I
I
think
said,
I'm gonna definitely have that as a topic on another show, because sometimes guys feel as though they don't want to take help from a female. You'll be surprised. They think that she's emasculating them, some of them, but I guess that all depends on their upbringing. You know what I'm saying?
that
Some
all
guys are
that
not
all
like that at all.
that only depends on if you looking at the scope of, like I said, within our community. Because, okay, even just to touch on that briefly, if you feel like, or if the, not you personally, but like, if the general consensus is like some dudes feel like they won't accept help from a woman, it depends on how she goes about it. The reason why most dudes don't, or feel apprehensive about accepting help from the black woman, is because when, as we see on social media, when black women gets mad, first thing she trying to do is expose you. Oh, I did XYZ. I threw this in your face. So that's one reason why, men would be apprehensive to accept help from women. But to say that they don't, I mean, you got to think about it like this: the term sugar mama. If it ain't black women that's saying that they ain't doing it, well, somebody got to be a sugar mama somewhere, because you feel me? Somebody's doing it. So
Mm-hmm.
it's only within our community that we have these false narratives, or based. And I feel like a lot of it is because of the internet. A lot of the internet and social media is kind of projecting and perpetuating negativity, and kind of trying to push the agenda of division within our community, so that we have those kind of negative conversations and debates and shit like that, versus if we were having meetings on how we was going to get together and how we was going to do our own shit, they would have a fucking fit. Like I just seen some shit the other day,
Thank you, Kayla.
where the people I don't know if it's true or not. I ain't look at it to Google and verify, but supposedly Africa they started their own internet. They yeah, I seen something where basically supposedly allegedly, like I said, I don't know if it's true. I have to look it up, but
That's
they say
awesome.
Africa started their own internet service, and that basically it's not through the American government. It's not, but they still have access to the same
I
features.
mean, as
They
they
also
should. I always said that, Africa is definitely a self sufficient place to be, that they don't require really anybody else. Africa is bigger than the United States of America. It's just that they choose to draw the map in a certain way, whereas though, we're bigger. But that's not true. Everybody, I just want to take the time to welcome Black Demon in the building. I want you to let people know, why did you pick that name and what kind of content do you have in your
I'm still
live,
here. I'm
Black?
just in the
And
content.
exactly, what is your position in this topic? Are you speaking from a dad's point of view, a son point of view? Let us know your content and when we can pull up and chill with you. When are you live?
Oh, okay. Let me turn this music down. Well, Black Demon come from because everybody keeps saying that I'm mean. So I put the demon in there. Plus I'm an Aries, so but yeah. I most definitely go live on this page. I got a live on Black 48. I most definitely got a YouTube. I do comedian skits, smoothness entertainment. But now, the father thing. To me, honestly,
Now, when it
girls are
comes
the
to a girl child and a boy child, who do you feel as though a father, is needed more, and what direction more?
a girl.
And
Some
why do you
people
feel as
say
though a girl
boys
needs a dad more than a boy?
because the way the world is set up and crazy right now, that you see all these peoples out here taking advantage of children. So if the father ain't there like it, they go out there and just end up being wild, so to speak. So, like I said, a girl is more definitely needed and needy than boys cause at the end of the day, boys can be boys, but girls, they sensitive, they delicate. So like my father was always in my life, so therefore I only had to do the same thing for my daughter, because that's why I was raised family oriented, so to speak. But
Oh
yeah,
wow. So in your with your situation, are you a single parent, or both parents involved with the raising of your children? Like
uh, through personal reasons, through personal reasons, yeah, I'm a single parent as of right now until she get herself together. Like I said, she's on drugs right now, so therefore I'm most definitely doing it by myself, which get hard, but at the end of the day, God got me, so therefore we good over here.
well, she's a very
But I
special
most
young
definitely,
lady to have you in her life.
yeah, because like I said, with she had a setback before my daughter was 4 months old. I took her and raised her until she was 7. Then, of course, I ran into a little trouble. Had to do a little time, so she ended up getting her back. And now she done flopped off and messed up again. So now I have her back. And social service gave her to me, so I got full custody on my own by myself, no co-parenting.
Mm.
But like I said, so if you don't have kids, then you like you were saying earlier, you would really know because you think it's all peaches and cream, but it is not. It is most definitely a handful. Most definitely a handful.
Wow.
So you most
So
definitely
what do
got to be
you
strong
think that how do
and
like what are
patient.
the lessons and the values and the things that you feel teachings that a man needs to teach a girl child to make it in this world? Like very important things.
Mm, very important things. Most definitely. Mm. Because like I said earlier, with this world crazy. You just got to just stay inside the guidelines, so to speak. Like, make sure that you get all your eggs in one basket, all your ducks in one row. Stay focused because ain't nobody gonna give you nothing in this world. Ain't nothing free. So work hard for everything you do. As long as you put your the best foot forward, and with God, you could be okay. You could be okay.
Mm.
So that means keep up your grades. Because like my daughter now is an AP student, so that's why she in early college. She in ninth grade. They want to move up to the 10th, but she just wanted to stay back
Mm-hmm.
with her friends or whatever and learn more and all she can learn. So not pushing her up. So yeah, but like I said, as long as you stay on top of her grades and do what's right, because you got time for boards and negativity later. But right now, just stay focused on your grades. Keep your mind straight. And like for this incident, like well, my daughter see what her mother going through. So, and I'm proud of her that she still her grades still loved and everything's still on par. So I try to talk to her, see how she's feeling, check her temperatures, see what's going on upstairs. Because like I said, little girls love their mother. So therefore, I know it bothered her. So that's why I try to talk to her, see where she going, when she got to school, ask her how her day was, and you know, make them feel special because they are special. They are special because
So why
the
do you feel
blessing
a
for
boy
the
child
family.
doesn't really need as much help from the dad?
I'm not saying that because they do. That's why you have a lot of boys out here with tow guns and in gangs and stuff like that because the daddy ain't around. So, like I said, if I would have had a boy, it would be the same thing, the same unconditional love. But like I said, a girl that need more. They more needier. They more sensitive than the boys, honestly. So they know who is best or what. It's just love is love. So therefore,
Mm.
but I do believe a girl needs more than a boy. Excuse me,
Okay.
because you got
Well,
to train them like because you know all these men out here taking advantage, and then you got all these older men messing with these little kids. So you just got to keep them on track and let them know that that's not acceptable. That's not acceptable. Don't let nobody fool you and play with your mind. Use your own mind. You know what's right and what's wrong. So therefore, use it and
wow.
stay on track. Stay on track, most definitely. Stay on track.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Black Demon, for pulling up and just shedding some light on some areas that we, needed some light shown on, and just talking to us from a father's point of view. So just to make sure that I can understand, you're basically saying that both kids equally need, the father in their life,
Yeah.
period. But
Yeah.
when it comes
Period. Well,
to
period.
the dealings with a girl versus a boy, it's just different. But they both need
It's
you.
different.
A girl, you got to
Yeah.
take a little bit more time with because she's a delicate
Patient.
flower. But with a boy,
Right.
you got to be rough on him. But he definitely needs your attention as well. It's amazing.
Hmm.
You and King Ice both feel the same way. Both children need their father in their lives. Period.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
is no
Like you said.
absentee nothing. Handle your business
Yeah.
when it comes to your seed. And I have so much respect for both of you. Yes, thank you so much for just pulling up
Yeah.
and sharing with us. Everybody make sure y'all hit Black Demon with the fave, King Ice with the fave. I definitely appreciate you both. Definitely
No
tune in
problem.
next week with a Lady Blues Blue Table Talk. You don't know what topic might just fall up out the sky that Lady Blue might just snatch up and throw on the table. You never know. We've already covered who sits in the front seat when you're driving, your wife or your mom. We've already covered which child needs your attention more, boy or girl. We've also covered family structure, mother, child, and wife. And we even spoke about child support. Okay, definitely tune in to YouTube, Lady
Sure
Blue
do.
Ice _ Unbreakable, and Get up to date on what's going on. Let's see if you can keep up with our topics and have something to contribute. If you have any topics that you're interested in sharing or suggesting, definitely hit me in my inbox. I'll be more than happy to cover those topics. And thank you again for tuning in. I'll see you next week. Blessings.